Hey guys, this is Asker from Breakfree Trading, and this is the weekly market review. Now we're doing a little bit different this week, and let me know if you like it or what you think. So let's dive into it. In front of us we have Euro AUD, and as you can see, it has clearly come back to our entry point, which is not exactly what we wanted. And at this point, I have adjusted my TPs down to the new adjusted range. It makes more sense, but I still think it's probably just gonna come back up and then down again and just keep going like this, or it might actually go a little bit higher and take this resistance point in which you really want to be sure that you have a good stop loss set. And I think at the point that this thing start pushing above extension 1 here, this is done. This range, it will make a push, and it's no longer feasible to stay in this trade at all. So that's why I put my TP here now. I'm pretty happy with that. But meanwhile, something else has happened, which is that if you remember this trade we took a couple of weeks ago on GBP CHF that only got one entry, nuked straight down into the target and the TPs, all good, but we only got one entry. And what I said was that I would be happy to take this trade again if it just shoots up in a quick move. And that's exactly what we got here. Very volatile day, very volatile markets right now, but this is pretty much what I want to see. It's not looking bad to me at all. The trend is still intact with the downtrend, so let's just keep moving on. Let's go have a look at SPX, and then we'll have a look at crypto, and then I'm going to look at a few Sonar setups, and we'll call it a day, guys. Now, what do we see here on SPX? Well, this is the 4-hour time frame, so let's zoom out to daily time frame, and let's pay close attention to the trend here as well, okay? Because first of all, well, what is it doing? What is SPX doing here right now? Not sure, but it does look like some sort of consolidated move that's now, looking like it's starting a new trend, which usually is down. And you can see this is not a new thing. This happens over and over again. This is not new to markets. There's a lot of people extremely bullish right now, bought into big positions and so on. And as I mentioned in the past, I don't think this is necessarily the right time to do that. And I think a lot of these people will get punished. It would be very easy for that to happen, Okay, so what do we see? Well, we saw SPX keep consolidating in this extension 1 resistance level here, couldn't really make it, now pushed down. So if this bull trend is going to continue, it has to take back this 4070 level, and then we could talk about breaking the above here and going to 4300 maybe. But I think it's much more likely that it will retest up here and then just fall down and down and down, continue to come down from here, something like this. All right. Something like that, or maybe more direct, I don't know, but those are my thoughts. So with that in mind, let's go have a look at DXY and just see how it's heading. It's still heading up slowly, and this is very common after a bottom in the dollar index. It's very common that it just slowly grinds up, and that's exactly what you can see what it's doing here. It's even formed a trend. You can see, and we got to go back and talk about the trend on SPX after this. But what you can see here is that you can see that the local uptrend is starting. The global uptrend actually already have switched just as of today, but this is very early. It can still, it can still turn around. But this is pretty telling. This is pretty telling. So the dollar index is definitely gaining strength. Even if this market were to pull back and even test, let's say 100, do a deep dive or something, it still have put in pretty good behavior here for marking this as a bottom. So even if it does come with a nuke and then, the other markets will rally as SPX goes up, DXY pulls back. Even if something like this were to happen here, it still probably would just start to trend slowly up again, and it would be a good market, good to trade. So let's go back to SPX. So what I want to pay attention to here in the trend is that we already had a weakness earlier in this current uptrend from 3,500 reaching all the way up to 4170, and you can see that we already had a pullback here once. We actually got erased and a new trend started. But usually when you have a second one this shortly after, that's where you're going to see the real sell, the real damage come in. So, this can still bounce. It definitely can still bounce. The XY could pull back like we just talked about. And this is definitely the area where it also does bounce right here when the local trend is going into the global trend and hitting some sort of supportive at the same time. So we want to pay close attention, but I am biased towards that this is going to dive pretty hard. And I would not be looking for any long materials right now. I would want to see the market establish itself above here before I'd get interested in longing this at this moment. So yeah, that's what I see here. Let's look at the WIX, which is the volatility index. Volatility is up. You can see that that's actually pretty decent. So that could be the beginning of something here. It matches with the rest, of course. So what do we actually have left? Well, let's go look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin last week or in the live stream, either way, we discussed when Bitcoin was down here, what was going to happen, which was that I was pretty biased towards it probably head to 20K from here, but it didn't do that. Instead, it did this mega nuke upwards and took out a lot of shorts, and a lot of people got injured by that. Right now, it's a pretty strong uptrend. Even if this market were to pull back, it would be fine to buy to a degree, but just keep in mind that there might be some really strong volatility coming in. The same way we had this candle up, I would not be surprised to see a candle down. We're getting a buy here. I think the stop loss is placed straight into 20K. I'm not sure this is actually the best trade, but because I believe if this market were to come down here, it would the same way it just went through this resistance and all the people who had their stops here and created like a big move. The same way I think it would do it in the opposite direction, and it would go to 20K, maybe even lower in like a quick move. So I don't know. Could be fine, could not be fine. It depends on how it gets there. If it just goes straight into the box around here, like today or tomorrow, yeah, okay, it's probably a buy. But if this thing is gonna grind down, like we've talked about, if this thing is gonna grind down like this, then we're not interested in getting into this. It's too much weakness, and it's not enough quick moves to liquidate all the leverage that people has built up in these trades. That's why we like these quick moves in general to trade, because a lot of people are forced to take action at the same time. And if we can be on the right side of that, we will make a lot of money. And that's why usually these big moves are accordingly to the trend. And even though that it could do a big move down like this here as well, it's still a very strong uptrend on Bitcoin right now. There's a lot of reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin. And there's a lot of reasons why Bitcoin could continue to go up while the dollar index would go up and the SPX would go down. All of this is possible, but oh yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is definitely not, I mean, it's just not looking that great right now. You can see we got this neutral level here. I wouldn't be buying it. You could go for a buy down here and give it a shot, but you probably want to scale into the extensions, and not like if you want to buy here, you want to do it properly, right? So you want to do something like this, and then you want to have free entries, and these free entries should be split in this area, so you can account for the volatility. And if this goes, if 21K goes, yeah, then it will probably head straight to 20K and probably even do some collateral damage. I bet there's a lot of people who have stop losses over here. And I mean, that would just be a nice little move to take them out. So I think there's a pretty good chance of that. Okay. Last but not least, let's have a look at some Sonar trades. Let's see. CSF JPY, this is the 4-hour setup. This is just an early trend starting here. Yeah, it could be fine. Could be fine. I mean, the Japanese banks are printing money on a crazy level right now. So yeah, probably could be a good buy, but you can see we have these strong spikes, right? And we don't neutral levels are prone to get just spiked through and where it goes straight to the support level. So we probably would be looking to buy CHF JPY down here instead, rather at the neutral level, even if we have a setup. So I would be looking to buy it down here instead. I just don't want to get, I don't want these things. I don't want these to hit my my stop loss. Let's see. As we got some Bitcoin set up, got some crypto. Let's sure we just have the filter set correctly. Okay, we got FAR, we got daily. We're not really looking at crypto. We want to see the rest. That's good. So we got a 1 day setup here on GBP CAD. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. So the trend here is very conflicted, right? And I say that because I look at RTD and I can see that it's just a lot. We had this uptrend and then again, and yeah. It's probably okay. It's probably all right to take. I think this is going to grind down. So why don't we put on this trade? It's good. We place the second one and the third one. So why I'm willing to take this trade? Well, I think what's happening here is just mean reversion, and it's just gonna continue down, and it's just printing, lower highs, lower high, lower lows, lower lows. I think it's all right to short it here if we can get the entry. It's worth it, and the stop loss is well placed. Like, that's a great stop. So let's move on. Let's see what else we got. Again, when you see a trade like this, where the market is already, when the Sonar trade shows up and it's already showing a candle above the entry bar, in general, just stay away from these trades. They can be fine and so on, but in general, that's not really how we want to approach trading. We don't really just want to get in the market. Instead, we want to be sitting and waiting for other people to make mistakes and fill our entries. So here, someone already made the mistakes, or someone is making mistakes here, that's for sure. And we can see that there's not enough strength right now here in the entry zone. Maybe it looks different today, but in general, you don't want to take these trades. You want to look for trades which has a lot more distance to its TPs, like here, where we have a quite some distance away, where we have room for the volatility of the markets to work in our favor. For example, like here, like let this one come, and I think we're all right to put this on. I think let's have a look. I'm not sure. It's the double cross again on the RTD. Already had a trend, and now again. So no, not interested in this. Not interested in this. This one is 2 days old. It's still working its way towards it. I think it would be fine to take if we can get it. It's not here. I see. It's already gone. Okay. So let's have a quick look at some 15-minute trades. $15-minute and 1 hour. We have set up here on gold. So it would be shorting up here. So the question is, do we want to short against the euro? Do we want to short against the dollar? And we probably want to short against the dollar, right? Because the dollar is showing strength. It's starting a new bull market. Yeah, this looks like it's just gonna collapse on itself. I think there would be some. I think there's some really good shorts here to pick up on gold or silver. If we could get a short from here, if we could get this short, that would be excellent. So I'm going to place these. Going to space out the entry. Okay, I think that's good. I would be happy with this. Happy with a quick move into here for whatever reason. Maybe some news or whatever, but a quick spike. It's definitely worth going fishing for this. That's what I think. Okay, what are we seeing? GBP, JPY on the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some early strength. If you wanted to buy into this, like if you wanted to get an entry into this, this is what we look like, but it's tight. You definitely got to watch it. That is quite a gap we have here. That's quite a gap we have here. But then again, the Japanese yen is weakening very fast. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, I don't know. We definitely had some move here in the 15-minute time frame. And by the time it showed up, you can see that it has already touched the entry bar. So you could try to retake it. You can see that this market is very messy and you could probably get away with it. But the question is there a better pair like the US dollar? Right? So we look at the strength of RTD, it says low, and here. And here is stronger. So here we have a 92% downtrend, and on the dollar pair we have a 42. So we probably want to be shorting against the Swiss franc actually, but it also depends on just which opportunity is available. And as we can see, this is already 6 hours ago. It's 15-minute setup, so this is long gone by now. We got a setup just came in now, also on New Zealand dollar. It seems like there's a lot of activity on the New Zealand dollar. It's probably some kiwi repricing or something. I'm not, I mean, you could go for this. But I don't know. I think if this market were to reverse around here and actually go up and retest up here again, I think that shows strength, and I'm not sure I actually would want to sell that. I think there's a good chance it would be hitting the stop loss. It's just the price action telling me this when I'm looking at the structure of this. So we have to see it from like a better perspective of what is this overall market doing. Well, overall it's looking very weak and it's touching on this neutral level, and you can see that these candles are not exactly showing strength. I mean, we do see a little bit of a wicks here into the neutral level, but it doesn't look like strength to me right now. So probably could be fine. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I think we had a look at most of this already. So yeah, overall, SPX is looking like it's heading down. Dollar index is still heading up, like we've been looking at for the past weeks. It looks like we're about to see a pretty big sell. Maybe down to 37.50, maybe down to 34.40, something like this. I don't know. It looks pretty intense. So that's it for this week, guys. I hope to see you at the live stream, which is every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Thailand time. And yeah, I'll see you around. Have a great day.